and gentlemen, drum roll please.
Drum roll to the mesa.
Drum roll please. And to the main event.
Yeah.
The rest of are all here today.
Yeah.
The show is officially beginning. And so now we are going to invite our guest speakers to kindly come and take their seats so that the show can kick off.
Yes. Now, introducing the guest DJ Jagalompaka Sikikatini. Very mild. Huh? Is it? Yeah. Moderate. Beautiful. Now, the guest I'm introducing, ladies and gentlemen, she is a poetic soul from Uganda. She mesmerizes us with poetry, a fusion of soul and poetry. And as the host of the Motive podcast, Angel dives deep into inspirational conversations through lyrical verses and insightful dialogues. She crafts a space where creativity and motivation intertwine, leaving a lasting impact on hearts and minds. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to see some energy. As we welcome Angel Kabara.
The next speaker that I'm proud, Mommy Edwin, wherever you are, prepare your best walk.
That walk. The Twanga cameraman.
Now, our next guest speaker for today is Nyaika Edwin. Nyaika is a visionary digital creator who captivates audiences through the lens of photography and compelling visual content. With a keen eye for detail and a passion for storytelling, they craft immersive experiences that transcend the ordinary, offering viewers a glimpse into the world of creativity and an aesthetic brilliancy. Ladies and gentlemen, to back that fire, description out, the one and only Nyaika Edwin, or Nyaika 256.
Come on! Yeah. All right. DJ, give me very moderate music, a beautiful song to welcome a beautiful lady. Yeah? You know what I'm saying? Now, the next guest we're gonna have on board. She is, I want you to listen with a keen ear. She is a dynamic content creator, effortlessly navigates the realms of fashion, beauty, and lifestyle. Yes, her vibrant presence extends to hosting the unpopular opinion show UG, where she fearlessly explores diverse perspectives. I want to let you know that Prim's charisma and style converge, creating an engaging narrative that resonates with authenticity and a touch of unconventional things. See, ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for Prim! Yeah. Now.
Listen to this.
What do you have?
Are you ready?
Yeah. Let me respond on their behalf.
Yeah. But you know what? It's a little pressure.
Yeah.
Because the way you invited Prim.
Yeah.
Also want to go. You come over and you also read go to me. It's all mine. It's later. Remind me to do it. Now, the charismatic host of the Ugandan Boy Talk Show navigates diverse topics with wit and insight. Through his engaging podcast, Buddy creates a platform for candid conversations offering a unique blend of humor, wisdom, and cultural commentary. Yes. Now,
Nyaika put Uganda Prim, all of the content, every work they do is amazing. And I want us to hear from them, learn from them. Speaker one or two, most of us in the audience are doing content. We're into content creation. I have a podcast, so we can learn. You can learn from me, I can learn from you, and you can learn from this guy. Later on, we'll have time to ask questions, but now we're going to dive into our conversation of today. And obviously, I'll have some questions to ask each individual guest that is here to answer. And then later on, we're going to have like a group discussion about content creation. So, I'm going to start with you. Like, in the work that you do, the visual work you do. How did you get started, like as a visual content creator? What time did you know you're going to be doing content creation when you were in high school when you're younger?
So, hi guys, thank you for coming out. It means a lot that for you guys to come and give me afternoon. So, I remember in 2010 when the BlackBerry, the Motorola had just come out, yeah? I bought a brand new one and tried to make a video with it. The first video I tried to make, I pointed the camera at the sun. And when I finished recording, my camera was dead. So, anyway, after that, I kept experimenting with pictures. It's pictures that I cared about, and that is all I filmed until 2020. I was only doing pictures, no video at all. So deep down inside I knew I wanted to do content, but I didn't know that I would end up doing video. So all I cared about was pictures, and I'm pretty good at doing pictures.
A lot of people don't know that you're good at taking pictures because all we see on Instagram are the reels that you're doing, and we forget that you did some wildlife.
Yeah, so for starters, I started with wildlife because I like to travel and see places, so I did wildlife photography, and then I realized animals don't pay, and then for National Geographic to pay you, you must be world class, which I wasn't at that time, and also don't quote me, but our wildlife authority is not very willing to pay creators for their content, so it must be world class for them to give you their money, and I wasn't there. So yeah, I eventually transitioned to corporate photography. I worked with that guy, the guy with the longest dreadlocks in this house. So I worked with him at the Innovation Village for about 3 years. I was doing pictures, was doing video, and eventually I realized that everyone can take pictures with so much ease. Every one of you has a picture that looks like it wasn't shot on your phone. Your phones have amazing cameras. So I figured, what's the next best thing? So the next best thing for me as a content creator was video. So I slid into the video end, and here we are.
Nice. And I gotta say, like, I appreciate your work, the work you put out there, because even us who are out of the country, you know there was a concert in Kampala when you checked Nyaika's page. And if you don't see on Nyaika's page, it's here. Anyway, thanks for the great work you're doing. Thanks for coming. I'm so glad you're here. I'm going to ask you a question about the style of content that you do. It's unique. It's separate from what we do non-podcasting. I know like you have a show, Unpopular Opinion, but when we focus on the stories you share all the time on Instagram, I love those, by the way, and yeah, they do love them. How many of you have seen Prim's stories on Instagram?
Use this, then you put, want you to use this, then you push this one to go to the other side.
It was about scamming the stories, like scam stories in Kampala. That was one of them that I did, and it was funny because the girl that I interviewed, she's called Linda, and she lives in the UK. she shares a story how she bought a phone from Utasa Cafe. We've all bought phones there. And she says that her phone was smoking like a chimney. But, yeah, her phone was smoking like a chimney. So those stories are funny. I did an episode about it, so thank you for doing that. But I want to ask you a question, like, how did you choose that style of content that you're doing? Like, when was it, like, you say, I'm going to focus on this and so on, like?
Hi everyone. Hi. Thank you for coming. So I think I really thrive more on stories, and I think it's because there's a feeling that there's no one on the other end of the line. It feels like this is my diary room, and I come here and sit down and get to talk about these things. So it's quite actually surprising when I meet someone and they say, oh, we were watching this story and you said this and that. It feels like, oh, there's someone behind, there's someone consuming this, there's someone watching this. But it's what for me helped me build my confidence. Just showing up in front of the camera every day, because I look back at the first story that I did. I remember that story very well. I was going to Mombasa for a holiday, and Fiona was already doing stories that time. That was about, I think, 2018, 2017. And she put me in front of the camera and I was so scared. Like I couldn't talk. I froze. So a friend of mine, Doreen, told me, it shows that you're timid. It shows that you are scared. So you need to show up a bit more and keep talking in front of the camera and see how that improves. So I kept showing up in front of the camera over and over again, and then one day it became as easy as just like that. Like I could just pick up my phone now and just start, hi guys, and then I'll talk about something. And with time I learned how to build ideas. Like when I want to, let's say, as a content creator, when a brand reaches out and they want to sell something, I will know that I'm not going to immediately sell this. I'm not immediately going to talk about your product out of the blue. I'll know that I'm going to first do some stories, like say weeks before, weeks prior, so that I can building up to now introducing the product. So I think I just woke up and started doing it over and over again. And it's something that I tell people who are like, oh, how did you get so confident? I'm like, show up every day in front of the mirror or show up in front of your phone, but just show up anyway.
That's the thing, and I think all of us who are doing content creation, we kept repeating the same thing, that just show up and just do it, because you're not going to change, you're not going to get better unless you do it, and you get better by doing it multiple times. So thanks for sharing that. So now I'll get to Kagura Angel. So good to see you here. It's crazy how you have a partner that you don't know. I live in America, so like I don't know. I've not seen Yaika ever since I came back, but we've been friends for 2 years. All these people, like we've been friends on social media, but like all of us coming here together and have a good time. So that's how I met Angel too. So Angel, your style of content is unique from all of us. You do like spoken words. How did you get started into spoken word as a spoken word artist and singing in Uganda?
Hi everyone, thank you so much for coming. How I got started with spoken word was in school. I was very fortunate enough to be in schools that went beyond like grades and all of that, and so I started competing in the teen poetry slam, and then after school that evolved into I want to do this for the rest of my life, so let's figure it out. And so I started figuring it out. It's been a learn on the job kind of thing, but the incentive is really to break that barrier, especially of the starving artist, of you can't be an artist full-time, So it's the incentives have changed. It started off by wanting to win competitions, which I did, and then wanting to put bread and butter on my table, which I'm doing. So it's a love for what I do, spoken word. The singing bit in church, and then it came into my spoken word later on when I started seeing how do I set myself apart? How do I monopolize this industry from different poets? And so I integrated my music my musical knowledge and background into my spoken word performance. And here we are. Yeah.
It's amazing. I've seen some of your content and what you do. I watched your performance on George Tutorial's podcast show that he had here. So it's been amazing, and thanks for doing that. Hopefully, people who are here that believe spoken words can learn something from you today through the questions. So I'm back to you, Nyeka. It was a long trip. I hope the English speaking was still on.
The band is still cover.
The band is still covered. So we've seen you do a lot of like concerts and stuff, and you talk about the wildlife that you do. Are there any specific aspects of Uganda that you enjoy in highlighting in your visual content? I know one of them that sticks out to me was Explore West.
So, if you follow the trend Explore West, you will notice that it was my content that was trending, probably because of my workflow. There were very many other guys who are working, but it just happens that my workflow is a bit faster, so my content gets to come out fast, and they see it fast. So by the time the other comes out, it's we've moved on. You guys move on very fast. However, I love to do events. If you go to an event, the main artist is not the event is you guys that have come for the party. Right now, we are not the main event, you guys are the main event. So if I got one of you guys drooling because of a chisati or how nice I look, that right there is the content, not us sitting here, because everyone has footage of us sitting here, but footage of you guys in the zone, that is the content. So I feel like people love events, and that's what I like to do now. And that's what I intend to do, work for the people, and that's why I prefer to do events right now. My dream job was to work for National Geographic. I eventually realized that it's good to dream, but not all dreams come true. So I'm fitting within my means right now as I work towards the bigger dream. So yeah, I love to do people content. It's what drives emotion and views, and you know it's all about the views these days. Without the views, it's I know very many of us here do content, but when you make a very nice video, you feel like, yeah, I've done it, and then you get 50 views, you'll be discouraged, and you probably won't make the next video in the next 1 or 2 days. So views roll, the numbers are everything. So, and the people are the ones who give me the numbers, not the animals, and that's why I work for you guys in Call It Avant. So yeah, I love to do people content.
No, that's amazing. And I think there's one video that sticks out to me. We talked about this. I had Nyeka on the podcast twice, but the first time we talked about this video, he recorded. I think there was a girl in the audience that pumped his
Fireboy.
Yeah, Fireboy. And she knew all the lyrics. I think Nyeka can talk that better.
So this lady is called the Same Former on Instagram. Before I realized that it's people content that sells, I was more focused on Fireboy because I've never seen him. He's looking nice. Everyone's screaming at him. So my camera pointed at the guy. And then after 5 minutes of recording him, you realize that, okay, you're going to either upload 1 picture or 2 pictures of Fireboy that are in focus and look very nice. A 30-second video of Fireboy that looks really nice. And then what else? So what you're missing out by focusing on the artist is the crowd. So after I got the footage, I turned around, I looked at someone losing their shit, excuse my French, losing their mind, and I'm like, yeah, this is nice. People want to see this. So I start filming him. Before the show ended, I extracted the clip, put it up, and Twitter reacted very nice to it. Instagram reacted very nice to it, as opposed to Fireboy's pictures. So it was at that point that I realized that no one cares about the guy on the stage. People care about the person in the crowd. So yeah, that's why I now only do crowd content.
And I think he still has on his Instagram, so you can go back and check that exact video. Yeah, so I'm going to be switching back and forth with my guests here and ask them questions about the kind of content that they do. I'll go with Prim. Prim, being a content creator requires creativity and innovation. How do you come up with new and engaging videos for your content, and how do you keep up with the audience excitement? And this, sometimes you put stories out there, and how do you think about that? Like it's so, and then you read the reaction from the people. That's the best part. Like you read these stories and they're all like funny. How do you come up with those topics that you put out there for people to hear?
I think my audience has been really wonderful, by the way. My audience shares those, but most times it's from everyday life, everyday people. There are times you'll be walking and an incident will happen that is, like funny or something, and you share, and then people will start sharing one by one. But also it's because I think I would like to say that we've created a platform. It's not just me, but we've built a community where people are comfortable to come out and share their, like wildest stories, their most embarrassing moments, their, like their deepest, their most beautiful things. And I don't know, I don't even take it for granted, but most times the content is from people. When someone asks, how do you find content? I'm just like, look around you. As every creative, look around you. Like he said, you look in the crowd, that's where the content is. So look around you. It will be a story that you saw that DJ passed by, he played a certain song that reminded you of something. And yeah, you come out, tell a story, you find someone else has been through something similar, or their friend. And trust me, most of these stories are very hilarious. Yeah,
they're really funny. But again, on your story, there was one time I saw you dress up and you're doing a video. Okay guys, I'm your tour guide today for like a wildlife day. I had that video up. If I had a producer, I'd put it up. But I'll make sure we put it in the post so you guys can see if you watch this. Recording later, but Prim was dressed up like as a wildlife and half feeling was kind of like gray or something. It was funny. He said a lot more words on that. I always say, and actually I'm going to ask the audience here. I think Prim is a comedian. I told her when I hosted her on my podcast that she's a comedian. She would be like really, really funny. She doesn't agree, but that's what I call her. Anyway, I'll go to Angel. That's your question, Angel. So you talked about you do poetry and like song and poetry. How do you come up with the themes and topics for your spoken words? Like, how do you sit down and say, I'm going to do this? I know your favorite song, Java and Java. I really like that. I can't wait. You guys need to watch her perform. It's amazing. So how do you come up with those themes of the songs that the spoken words that you write?
I would say the same as Nyaika and Prim, just looking around me. I like to tell people to look at the things that we take for granted and find ways. I think that's why you're creative. You're adding value to society. So in a certain context, at an event, he's adding value to the people, right, as his muse. So for me, it's picking different things. It could be today, could be about this water bottle. Tomorrow, it could be about the NAM conference. Of course, art serves society, so there are certain things within society that inspire my work. Very passionate about women and girls and all of that, hence pieces like Jabala. Very curious about, things like border borders, hence pieces like the border border stage. So like them, the inspiration is everywhere. Anything and everything can be a source of inspiration.
Well, that's amazing. And I like that we say content is everywhere and you just need to look like it's there. You can say it and that's content for you, and there's a lot of people who are taking that opportunity. So don't say, I see that content. Just look around, you find content. Mr. Nika, signature.
Shall you go English bando kweli?
English bando kweli, I'll come back to you. What has been the most rewarding experiences in your journey so far? Like, what has been rewarding and what is the one thing that is rewarding to you in your work that you've done?
So in terms of rewards, is me not having to explain who the F I am when I get to the gate of an entrance. You get there. Okay, so a reward would be me getting to the entrance of blankets and wine, and you don't have to explain who you are or why you're carrying a camera because of security reasons, blah blah blah. But they look at you and they're like, "Oh, you're Nyaika, let him in." So that's a reward. Other one is going for a business meeting. Clients wants your services, but you don't have to talk a lot. Yeah, they look at you. They've seen your work. The reason you're there is because they've seen the work, and you don't have to do a lot of talking. All you have to do when you get there, all you're doing is discussing how the project is going to be run, not if you're capable of handling business with them. Yeah, so that's another reward. So 1 million views is also a reward, correct? Yeah. So having a couple of 1 million view plus videos, that's a pretty good reward. Another one is crossing the borders. You go to Juba, Gulu, wherever, Benin, and there is someone who knows you are. That is means a lot. So yes, that's a reward.
Alright, I'll go back to Prim. Prim, social media plays a crucial role in the life of content creators. So how do you balance the positive and negative aspects of social media, and what advice do you have for others looking to build a positive presence online? And I'll signal one out. There's a video you did about people talking negativity about people's bodies and appearance, and I think I watched that, and it's sad to see somebody body shaming another person, and I remember you talking about that. And for me, that's one of the negative things about social media. Another person using it to the negative side. How do you balance yours, or how do you balance the positive and the negative aspects of social media?
I think for me that has come with time. It's you build the muscle with time, because as a creative, each time you put yourself out there, they're going to either critique your work or critique your personality. The solution to all that has been that you don't validate me, I validate myself. So by the time I come to you, I'm okay. I'm okay with myself. And whatever compliments you give are just that, they're compliments. They're just, it's like garnishing, like cooking food and then you throw some rosemary. The food was already okay without the rosemary. So if the rosemary is there, well and good. If it's not, I'll still eat the food. So the muscle that I built with time is the praises don't get to me, so that the criticisms also won't get to me. There's positive feedback, like, oh, you can improve here. I think you should do this, you should do that. Great. But the whole, when you attack my body, what am I supposed to do about that? Like, what can I do for you, right? So most times, by the time I come, and like people who view my stories will tell you that I will wake up in the morning, call myself beautiful, call myself gorgeous, call myself everything. And if you agree, that's just an addition. If you don't, I also can't help you. You get. But also, I'm gorgeous. Like you've seen me here. Yeah, I'm also gorgeous. I'm a really gorgeous person. So, but the trick is do not. Most times when people hype you up, when you allow the outside hype to put you up there, it means that the same people will have the power to bring you down. So it's very important that we take that power away from people. Like in just general life, in creativity, everything, the moment you allow, the moment people have to get you to a certain place, it means that they can just as easily take you from that place. They can just as easily pull out the rug from underneath you. So you build yourself, you hype yourself, you affirm yourself, so that at the end of the day, it is only you and only you that can bring yourself down, and not anyone else. Yeah.
That is really important, and give her a round of applause for that. I think that's the most hard part when you're a content creator, because you put your content out there, and the same people, like she said, put you up will pull you down. There's a lot of work we put out there, and somebody tries to pull you down, you then you quit something that would have turned out to be a great thing because you let this person take away the dream that you had. So it's really important to remember that you gotta love yourself first and put yourself out there so nobody can pull you down. So thank you for sharing that. Angel, are there any specific aspects of Ugandan life or traditions that you often incorporate in your work while you prepare like your spoken words? And like for example that song of Uganda, because I think we used to sing it as a folk song in high school, but the way you transition it to feature style of content, are there any other lifestyle or Ugandan life or traditions that you use to be what?
Yeah, I actually just want to say, when you mentioned Javala, Prim whispered how that folk tale, number one, traumatized her as a kid. Same, I think every girl child has been manipulated with that folk tale. And so I would like to start by correcting narratives. That's one of the things that I really incorporate in the work that I do. But also picking from our culture, linguistically as well. Incorporating, language as easy as promoting language in poems or content that's in other languages. Because someone once told me, what language do you dream in? What language do you dream in?
That's somebody asked me the same question. I don't know.
You don't really?
They asked me if I dream in English or Ugandan. And this was like when I was in America, but I don't know. I don't know how I dream.
Nyaika, which language do you dream in? Don't tell us English.
I dream in English.
Okay, whatever. But
like I see
you
something.
dream in
like,
actions.
Yeah, in actions. I don't dream in like words. Or something.
Yeah. Well, I feel like
How about
language.
Prim?
Oh yeah, Prim.
I don't know. I think English and Runyankore.
Guys, think about it. No one thinks about it. But what language do you dream in, and what language do you pray in? And language is very important in touching people, because the great thing about content and getting online is we're now closer to the people more than ever. So you want to relate to them as much as possible. And most of the times the audience is Ugandan, right? So borrowing from language, borrowing our stories, our I would say, it's still a part of language, the slang, the colloquialism, borrowing from that. Mostly so far it's been language and stories. Listening, picking those everyday experiences, conductor, taxi park, border stage, and incorporating them. So that's very often. Also with the clients that I've worked with, that's what they want. So I'm so grateful that that's what they want.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Alright, that's really amazing. So I'm going to go around one more question, individual questions, and then we'll do some group questions, discussions. And then afterwards, I think whatever the plan is with MC, will have a session for Q&A. So if you're out there and you want to ask any of these guys a question, we'll have that session for you. But we'll communicate that. So Nyeka, I have this question and I think I'll bring it last. Can you walk us through your creative process, like from the idea generation to the final product? So let's say you are a concert, like you talked about how you see people on the outside. Like how does your mind process something and then you get the idea and then to the final product of putting it out on Instagram for us to watch it?
Alright, so when I go to an event, that guy again, Deepak,
Deepak.
can attest that I am terrible at planning things and whatever. So you go to an event, you don't know what to expect. You don't know if it's going to be raining and it's going to be muddy, or it's going to be dry. Why am I saying that? If it's muddy, someone's going to walk in, hopping, jumping in hills and whatever. That is content, right? If it's dry, people will still be looking nice, but there's nothing exciting or unique about that, right? So if it is muddy and dusty, someone wearing heels, suffering to get through the mud, that is content. So I guess what I'm saying is it's terrible planning, but go to the event, look out for what is exciting, what you think is unique and exciting. Yeah? When you go to the event again, if someone is on the stage dancing, there is 1,000 other cameras pointing at that guy. So that is not unique. So if I'm scrolling through Instagram and I see that video of Elijah singing 1,000 other people have uploaded the same video, correct? But if you find someone else singing with Elijah, again, that is unique because 1 or 2 people have that same clip, yeah? And that is what is exciting. So I guess what I'm trying to say is when you go out there to create content, look for something that is unique, not something that is obvious. If you're walking through Kampala city, yeah, and you look at Mapera, it's standing out, so you will take a picture. But I also have a picture of Mapera, she has a picture of Mapera. That is not unique. Chances are slim that your picture is better quality, yeah? But what is unique is someone ordering for a taxi, or someone has been left behind by a taxi and is trying to run, or someone's phone has been snatched and they're trying to get it back, right? Or someone selling things on the street. That is unique. So look for what is unique. Don't look for the easiest things to capture. Eh? Don't be that guy. You go to Kidepo and the first antelope you see, you take a picture, it's clear, it's in focus, and that is the picture you're going to bring back and upload. No one's going to like that picture. You get 10 likes and that is it. But if you see an antelope having coitus with another antelope, that is a unique picture. That is a unique video that is going to get you the necessary attention you're looking for. So look for unique things. Eh? Don't be obvious. Look for unique things. You go to Bandali Rise, you go to Thrones. Eh? Someone is dancing or smoking shisha. Yeah, okay, yeah, that's okay, that's fine, that's nice, it looks nice. But someone is pickpocketing another guy. Eh? That is unique content that no one has. Chances are slim someone else got footage of him pickpocketing the other person. So look for unique things, yeah, things that are not obvious. Don't be the guy who gets obvious things. So the point is, don't be obvious. Look for things that stand out that no one else has seen, and that is what people want to see.
You ever use the footage of somebody pickpocketing somebody and use it to get a phone back?
Okay, so that takes us to another point that wasn't brought up. So in your pursuit, in pursuit for content, think about the other person whose content you're putting out there. If I'm pickpocketing someone, chances are high I don't want my face to be seen, right? Because that could put me into legal issues. I know I'm doing a good job by exposing someone who pickpocketed, but you think about the other person too, yeah? Or if I'm at Conscience's show and this guy is collecting nigos from another baby, it might look nice for the video, but think about him. He probably has a girlfriend, and that's not the girlfriend he's collecting nigos from, and he would like his identity to be kept private. So one, try to put him in a situation where he doesn't get ashamed, or he can't sue you for uploading his content without his permission, or the person giving nigos doesn't get into trouble. How do you do that? Try to avoid their faces, or make sure they are well aware that you're filming them. Make sure there is sort of a visual confirmation that I am filming you, you're aware that I'm filming you, and that is okay. Okay? That saves you half the trouble that you might have to go through. So don't be these guys who get 150 to 600 millimeter lens, and you film someone who is in Tinder from here, and they don't know that you're filming them, and then put up their footage. They will sue you because they haven't allowed you to film that footage. It is yours, but they didn't allow it. So make sure there is a level of respect between the content you put out and the person you're putting out. Make sure it's kawa for them. Don't be embarrassing people with things you put out. Because put yourself in that situation. If it was you, my guy, imagine it is you, they have put out collecting niggas. How would you feel? You don't feel good. So imagine the other person feels the same way. So make sure they either agree with the visual confirmation. You might not have time to go to them and ask them, is it kawa if I can film you get collecting? Yeah. So make sure there is that level of respect and acknowledgement that I'm filming you. It is kawa. Your footage might go up or it might not go up, but yeah, you know that I'm filming you. So yeah.
No, that's very great that you talked about, because earlier we talked about that there is content everywhere, but it's not everything is content. So you need to ask permission. Because they have a nice cap, they're quarter content. So be careful in what you do. So I'll go back to Prim with a question. So travel is often a significant part of lifestyle content. I've seen you travel a lot. How has travel influenced your content and perspective on fashion and the beauty of stuff you put out? You've been a few times in Nairobi, all those places. I'm sure everybody who follows you has seen you travel. How has that been influencing your content?
So first, before, by the way, most times, you know that statement of Oyogedenga mfuna mpole. I used to be those people who say, Oyogeza bwabo. I used to kuogeza bwabo when people would say, oh, I like travel. What? I'd be like, what? I'd rather buy dresses. But then when you travel, there's a way ignorance washes away. It's like ignorance washes. You leave that ignorance on the tarmac in Entebbe, and you're bored, and ignorance goodbye to you. You know, but yeah, it exposes you to different cultures. It exposes you to how people think. It's like such a marvel to see that they are. You know, most times when you're here, it feels like the world rotates around you. When you're in your place, the world rotates around you. It rotates around those people that you know, that you've known since childhood, and you know the same exact things about them that you've always, you've always known. So when you travel and you see how, let's say, it's why sometimes, let's say, a white man can come to Africa and try to change our culture, or they'll see us eating on Dagala and they would want to buy us plates. They'll go back to their homes and say, let us collect plates and send to Africa. But for us, it's communal living. It's how we sit and interact as family, right? We don't need your plates. We are okay. So it's very important, like when you travel and see how people dress or how they think. It also tweaks your mind. It changes your mentality. And when I stopped Okwogezo Bravo, I decided that I'm going to travel more often just to experience people, because human beings are very, very fascinating, and that is beautiful. That alone is lifestyle content. It is beautiful seeing their lifestyles. Yeah.
Well, that's amazing. And actually, I think the Uganda have a saying that so you think your thing is the best, but you've not traveled to another person's place, so you can see what they do better. You might learn something from it. Anyway, Angel, I had a question here I was going to ask you, but I'll leave that. I'm gonna go back to the travel thing, because you went to Tanzania to perform. How was the experience like performing outside Uganda? And I know that some of your performances could involve some Ugandan stuff. How was that experience going out of the country to do your kind of work that you do?
It was great. Like Prim said, it opens, it dilutes the ignorance. It exposes you to so many different things that we are not experiencing here in our Ugandan market. It was fun, but I would say I want to correct that, and also I actually want to begin by saying that our content creation space, like every growing space in Uganda, is very saturated, and so we have a lot of like get ready with me, video, audio, and all of that, which is great. But there's a lot more to content creation, right? So when I travel like to Dar es Salaam or to Nairobi, Kigali, it's not to perform Javala. I write content for organizations, which is content writing, and I'm also the same person who performs that content. So back to travel, what's really great about performing outside of Uganda is challenging myself to understand other cultures, other ways of life that are not as deep as maybe language, but how do the Tanzanians talk about this and this? How do they perform? How do the people in Nairobi perform? And you get to see like who is more fast-paced than us, the Ugandans. First, we are chill, we're too comfortable with, you go to Nairobi and guys are, most content creators are moving that side. Please let's say. But it exposes you in that sense to see, oh my God, there's so much more. You know, with the social media and digital media, the borders have been eliminated, you know. I think you have an audience outside of Uganda and there's a lot of potential there. So that's what performing outside and traveling to other countries, only in East Africa so far, but there's been a lot to learn. And it's really, seeing what more I can do with my content.
No, that's all amazing, and it's been amazing to hear what all of you do in your aspect of content creation. And most of you know I'm here, I do a podcast in this I've represented the podcast people. What I'm doing right here is what we do. That answers everything.
Let me also speak to traveling.
Okay, Nika is not just in traveling too.
So, in the same spirit of traveling, you see how I'll come to an event and I won't get terrible pictures of you or terrible content of you, and that has been established. But then I go to another country that is probably a fourth world country or first world country, and those guys don't know me. They don't know what my ethics are in terms of creation. So I have to either go all the way back to establishing myself and what I stand for in terms of creation, or they probably don't care, they're in the mood and they're just going on. So every time you travel, you learn new things, you get to either reset and start all the way again, or just continue from where you stopped. So it's different every time when you travel. It's going all the way back to the bottom. So
So you all agree with me that it's good to travel and see other places and get content.
definitely.
So now in this session we're going to do some general topics, and any of my guest speakers can answer their questions in any aspect. One of the questions is to provide the overview of the evolution of content creation in Uganda, because when I was in Uganda, I left 2014. I don't think it was the same content creation we have till today. Who of us has an idea of how our content has evolved with time?
All right, I'll go first. So in 2018 and earlier, an event would happen, and you'd have to wait for either NBS, NTV, or UBC to make. You know that video?
Pandora Magazine?
What was the show?
Pandora Magazine?
Something like that, a highlight video of the event, Jama Agenda. So
yes.
those events, it would be like a 30-minute show, highlighting or talking to like 5 people that were at the show, and a few snippets. That was it. These days, as the show is going on, you're getting real-time content. Either pictures that William takes will be uploading the clips as they are happening in real time, people showing up, the performances, or you check my TikTok, there will be videos of things happening in real time. So back then, content was it happened. We assume that everyone went to the show, but we forget that Katikati, or whatever that place is called, only accommodates about 20 or 30,000 people, and Kampala has a population of about 4 or 3.5 million people, and we all can't fit there. And those people have internet and are trying to keep up with what is happening in the country. So that is where we come in. We give them that extra medium of content consumption that is not available to them at that particular moment. So content these days is real time, and that is what is really selling.
I also think, especially post-COVID, content creation is now in the hands of the people, as opposed to it being in the hands of few like media house owners and all of that. So now we have ordinary Angel, ordinary Prim, ordinary Nyaika, who are now, not so ordinary. From Prim's perspective, Prim has gone to an event. She has, no one is stopping her from uploading on Twitter, on TikTok. So I think that democratization of content has, led to like a 360 turn. Yeah.
I agree with Angel.
So the other thing that I wanted to talk about, since actually the majority of us here, we're all in like content creation, there's always challenges and everything. What do you think, what challenges do content creators in Uganda face, and how have these challenges evolved over time? I think I'll go first on that because being in content creation, I'm out of Uganda, so I think I'll put myself on a side because the question says in Uganda. If I live outside Uganda and speak I'll just stop. I feel like opportunities, and that's why I started the podcast to provide a platform so somebody can be on my podcast, talk about what they do, and then somebody else will find about them because they do something and they lack opportunities. And so I think we need more opportunity providers for these people with their content so the world can see. Well, there's a lot of talented people out there, but we just don't know them, we just don't see them because they don't have that opportunity. I feel like some of these places would offer that opportunity. So, and this is the very moment I want to thank the Ontario Book Cafe because I was in America, called the manager of the place, hey, I want to host my event here, and he was willingly and frankly open enough to say, it's okay, you can have your event here. And they've organized everything so perfect, on time, they offer everything, services. So I feel like people like that are supporting content creation, they're supporting us. So I would think that if we had more those kind of people, offer venue, offer support, it would help a lot of other content creators to showcase their work. Like we here, we're able to showcase a live show at Ontario Book Cafe because they were willing to give us the venue.
So challenges as creators. Alright, so everyone here, the guys with cameras, if you uploaded a picture or video in the last 7 days, actually 3 days, put your hand up.
Did you hear the question? No.
Alright, so the question is, if you've uploaded a picture or video and you're a content creator in the last 7 days, put up your hand. Okay, that's less than a quarter of the crowd. So the challenge we face as creators, we are questioning our work. Because you've seen Mr. Musingu's video, it's world class, you think yours is not good enough. That might be true, but that doesn't stop you from putting it up there. Because there is no way you will know if you're progressing or regressing if you do not put the work out there. Yeah? These two ladies, they have a podcast. What is it called?
The Chat Room 256.
The Chat Room 256, yeah? They have one episode out, yeah? But if they didn't put that episode out because they are comparing themselves to the Ugandan Boy Talk Show, there is no way they would know if their podcast has potential or not. So the challenge is we are so skeptical about our work that we never upload it. So we are always thinking, how will they receive it? You take nice pictures, you can't put them out because you're not sure if they are good. Yeah? So you cannot get better if you don't put your work out there. When I started working for the Innovation Village, I used to upload my pictures or take pictures. Actually, true story. In 2020, I was shooting auto. I was still shooting auto. And this guy here, there is a dial on your camera that says auto, yeah? I was shooting auto and that guy told me, you can't be shooting auto. And slowly by slowly, I was resistant because in my head, auto was kawaii. It was good enough. But it was until I actually tried out the manual stuff that I realized that you have more control over manual. When I started doing videos, experimenting with videos in 2018. And I made a video. It was, I think, 2 minutes long. And that lady there, that one, she's called Robin. She told me, if you're doing a video, your clips should at least be 2 seconds at most. 2 seconds. She used to work with UBC. So she told me, your clips should be 2 seconds or less. Otherwise, people get bored watching the same clip. And if you check my footage, I don't upload clips that are more than 2 seconds, 3 seconds. So there is a level of retention that you have to look out for. So one is keep learning, learn from people. If someone tells you something, they're not hating on your work. It's probably because they've seen something that, and they're trying to get you better, or maybe they're actually hating. But most 99% of the time, they're trying to make you better. So listen to people who are giving you criticism. As long as it's positive criticism, it makes you better. And also the work you make, the videos you make, the pictures, whatever, the podcasts, make sure someone is seeing it. Upload it. The internet has made it very simple for all of you guys to showcase your work. So put it out there. If you're making music and no one is listening to it, you're making it in your bedroom, you will never know if it is good or beans. Yeah? Put the work out there. I'm sure if this Bonnie hadn't listened to this guy's music, there's no way the guy would be singing for us. If Bonnie hadn't seen my videos on the TL, I wouldn't have been on the 2 episodes and also here talking to you guys. Yeah? So what I'm trying to say is, make sure you upload that work. Make sure someone is seeing the work. Even if it is beans, make sure someone is seeing your beans. The only way they can become meat is if someone sees them and tells you, "Hawanochusa muko." Tuwayo is there. Yeah? But it's because they listen to advice. Yeah? Before they started the marketplace, they only used to do travel. But I'm sure they had very many other business guys coming for their trips and all that. And they kept getting feedback. And they're like, maybe you could help the audience, you could help your followers in this direction. And that is why we have the biggest marketplace in East Africa. So keep listening to feedback, act upon it, yeah? And that's how you will keep getting better. Make sure someone sees the work. Okay?
All right.
Thank you.
Do you guys have any challenges you can think about for content creators?
Yes, I do. I have one.
All right.
Yeah. We have a lot of external environmental challenges, but I don't want to highlight on that. Internally, I think, get better, invest in getting better, upload, but also add value to yourself. If you're a musician, learn an instrument, learn audio production, don't just stick to a microphone. If you're if you work with a camera, understand the camera. It's more than just like holding the thing, because I can do that. That's what separates you from, if you do beauty and lifestyle, learn a little bit about cosmetics or whatever. Because, we have been treated so informally outside and also with ourselves. So it's just vibes. But if we apply the same pressure a banker applies to his cubicle on our staff, I think we can elevate our content and then put pressure on the outside to then respect us financially, socially, and all of that. Yeah, that's
really amazing. I'm glad that you guys shared about that. So because of time, and I want you guys to ask questions when you have them. I don't know if the MCs wanted to do something before questions, or we can go through questions now. Question, can it? All right, so we're gonna have a mic back there. If anybody has a question for any of these guys, now will be the time for you to ask it, so they can answer it. One more you think
Anybody have questions for the guest speakers?
Thank you so much. So my first one goes to Prim. I think she has answered it a lot, but I would like her to really echo it. How she has that very important job, and how she has the #1 podcast show in Uganda at the same time. How she manages to balance. Then for Edwin, we know Edwin to use his phone sometimes. I want to know how has he kept that phone in this Kampala where the owners of the phones are always looking out for them? And all of these events that he goes for, how does he keep straight that he goes for the events, enjoys it, creates the content, and doesn't lose track of what has taken him there? Yeah. Some of us when we're traveling, we sometimes forget we're working.
You know, Edwin actually hinted on something. Nyaka said that certain content, when it comes to, say, a concert or you have Bandali Rise, when you see someone that is picking a pocket, you record that one. So I think he sees them before they see him. It is possible. But please, Prim.
Or you probably work with them and you tell them, maybe he tells them, maybe he tells them, today I'm working from here to Bandai. Don't take from me. I think one of the things that I don't know if you guys have realized that the economy is very tight lately, and you realize that, you know what we are calling the gig economy. Before, you would hear people in the US or Canada, people in Bulaya saying that I work for jobs, blah blah blah, and it felt like a mystery to us because we didn't ever have to work for jobs. But things have changed. We now have to. Your one job, I don't know, it's very hard. I don't know what you're doing, but it's very hard for one job to sustain you in Uganda, like right now or today. So you have to keep juggling so many other things. And at the risk of glorifying hustle culture, someone told me something that, there's a time I was just downloading, I'm so exhausted, I'm doing all this stuff and what. And someone told me these are the years of, hustle. These are the years where you're going to struggle. These are the years, it's like the way, you save money now for the future. Even now, you invest your energy, you work, so that at a later stage when you have less strength and energy, you're not working as much. So the reason he asked that is because I have a full-time job, I'm a public servant, I work with government, and I'll go for a night shift, come from there, and go and shoot an episode of the Unpopular Opinion, or go and shoot episodes of my own content during the day, probably go back for another night shift, then go off the following day, and but you'll always find me at work. I know my first priority is my job, so I'll always be at work. But while this was also just a second priority, content creation, it has now, since it's paying me well, it has now risen. It's also, they are sort of competing. And also I've realized that when we do content creation or when we talk about the gig economy and we keep looking at it as a side hustle, we don't understand the places that it will take us. Because for me, you can't believe that places I've dreamt of being in, my government job hasn't taken me there, but content creation has. When I say that I would like to work with the UN, I've had some projects with the UN that have come from content creation and not, that what they think of, you're going to be promoted, then you'll apply and leave this job and stuff. It has become so interesting that now when I apply for jobs, I write content creation down on my CV and I highlight it so well because I want the organization to know that this is who you are getting, this is who is coming on board, this is who is joining you. I am a creative. I mean, if you're able to sustain creativity on your own and get it to pay you and be a whole brand, a whole entity, every brand should be lucky to have you. So right now, what I can say is that it is the time for us to hustle. These are the years. So if you can and you have something to do, diversify as much as you can. You have to diversify. Because as opposed to what? Are we going to sleep? Are we going to starve? So we have to diversify, we have to work. So there's that.
Thank you, Prim. Our next question was for Nyaka, and it was about how is it that you have kept that phone safe? We see videos, you have your telephone. Another video, another event, another telephone. Teach us your ways. How can we keep our phone safe in this Kampala?
Okay, you see how fresh I'm looking? I grew up in...
Backbenchers, we are going to punish you with shots, but don't make noise.
Alright, so I'm going to take you back, So I graduated IT and then jobs were, people are not willing to give us money to take us.
Hold on, that mic is not miking.
So,
Graduated IT at UCU, but employers were not willing to give me so much money, and they were willing to only give us entry level about 900,000. Yeah, a month. That's a month minus transportation, meals, and all those things. But if you're doing photography, all these guys will tell you that if you have a graduation party or birthday party or chala something every week, yeah, every weekend, just one, you're making at least 250,000. If you do the math, that's $1 million. If you get 4 of those, that's $1 million. And that means you have 6 other days to do something else, right? Now those 6 other days, guess what I was doing? I was in Mutasa selling phones. Yeah? I sold phones for about 4 years, but because of the nature of my interests, which are traveling, I couldn't be there 24/7. And if you've worked in Mutasa, you know that to make money, you have to sit at that shop the whole day. Yeah, so I eventually pulled out. But what that taught me is how to be street smart. Yeah, so when I'm on a border, which I rarely do these days, but if I'm on a border, pedestrians. Anyway, back to the topic. So when you're on a border, and you know. Street smart, yeah? And you know the guy is speeding, there is no traffic, yeah? You know you can film with ease because no one is going to walk into the border and snatch your phone. But if you get to a junction where there is traffic and is slowing down, it makes it risky for you to have your phone, So you put it down, put it in your pocket. Same thing with Uber, yeah? If the guy is driving and your window is down at a particular speed, you know it is safe. As soon as it slows down, put the phone down or roll your window. Once you have that in your head, engrave it there. It's instinct. No one has to remind you. You'll be safe. So that's how I learned how to film on the streets. And true story, the last time I lost a phone was 2011. So that's the last time I lost the phone. And again, be street smart. Know when your camera, your phone is at risk. If you're leaving a show, Boris asked how I keep track of my equipment when I go to shows. So I've optimized my working kit to a very small package. Yeah, I move with 1 or 2 lenses and batteries. The kit is so small. The work that comes out looks like it's from a big rig, but it's a very small kit because these cameras are very capable. So make research about your equipment and what you want to do. Yeah, if you want to do events, make research. What is the best possible equipment to produce the best results at the lowest weight or lowest cost and all that. Yeah. There's a lens here that does the same work. That is like $500. That does the same work as a lens of $2,500. But you won't know that unless you actually go to YouTube and watch reviews, do research. Do research. It will help you save money and it will make your work better. So I always do a whole bunch of research before buying equipment. That's why I'm able to go to a show with just a small, very tiny bag, handbag. That's big man. Come with that bag. You see this little bag? I can carry everything inside here, and this is not my smallest bag. This is a very big bag. So everything I need can fit here or even smaller. Why? Because I've researched and I know my equipment, the equipment that I need to get my job done, doesn't need to be so big. You don't need to carry a tripod to a show. If you're going for an event where people are running up and down, why are you carrying a video tripod? It's going to slow you down. Why are you carrying a gimbal if you're not running around with people. You can handhold that camera. So do research about your equipment, optimize your equipment or your kit for the work you're doing, and that will save you. Boris, that's how I keep track of my equipment when I leave events. I carry very little footage, clip equipment that I can easily keep track of, and doesn't slow me down. So yeah, that's how I do it.
Thank you so much, Edwin. Backbenchers, wagwan. Wagwan, what's poppin'? How we feeling? Any questions? All right, I have 2 questions here.
Erika. Edwin.
Who's asking?
You mentioned that. You mentioned that you go to offices and clients already know the kind of work you do. So how do you balance the client preferences with your kind of style?
Okay, so when you go to work, say for example, when I go to events, the person who has hired me either wants a highlight video, which is a montage of the whole thing, from when people enter, the crowd, the show, and everything. But when you film that, you have a lot of footage that you're not going to use, correct? So that is content, All they want clips of people coming in, and that is what they want. So after you give the client what they want, there is leftover footage that you can repurpose for your own needs. So just because the client has asked you to do for them something, it doesn't mean they own the content explicitly. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
If a client asks you to design for them a poem, a song for a particular conference, there are ideas that happen within that creative process that you can repurpose for your own needs. So if these ladies, they do a podcast. If they're doing a podcast and it is 1 hour long, there are 1 minute extracts or 30-minute extracts in that 1 hour that might be of interest to someone else who doesn't want to listen to that whole 1 hour thing, that you can pull out and put on your pages. So the same applies to me when I go to shows. Client has said they want a highlight video or they want pictures. If they want a picture of the main artist, I'll take probably like 20 pictures of the main artist, and it's not going to be the same pose. And even if I give those 20 pictures to the client, they're not going to use, they're not going to use all those pictures. They are going to leave out like 6 pictures, which I will then repurpose for my own page. Again, as much as you're doing content for the client, there is no way other people are going to see you and hire you if they don't see your work, and those people will only see your work if you put it out there. Even when you upload clients' work, a week later, a month later, after they have uploaded, you can either ask them, can I upload this? Can I also share this content on my page? Is it okay? Can I re-edit it for my own audience? And also use this footage. So just because you are hired to do a specific job doesn't mean that the client has said, don't use my content. There is always something you can use for your pages.
All right, so we have 2 more questions. Actually now 3, and those will be the last ones because we have 2 performances that I don't want you guys to miss.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Andrew. I want to get close so that the main man can see me. My question goes to all of you in front of us. How can we put these conversations and content out there to bring to attention the stakeholders to make a change in society? Because discussions and conversations we have about some things go beyond our media and actually touch society. Because some of them actually help the media, they help business like Tubayo. So how can we use our content, our
data that we put together in these conversations to bring to the attention of maybe leaders to make a change in society, because everyone shared a photo of a painted pothole, and it was all over, but it was just someone recording maybe their own content, but they have to share it. So how can we bring to attention those people to make a change? To build on my question, everyone has talked about snatching phones. I started a foundation called Creative Generation Foundation. I work with street children. I actually protect street children. The time I started working with street children, I was arrested more than the street children. You got to know me through that. It was my ex that connected me to you. I was supposed to have a podcast online, and I didn't make it. So my other issue is about the things we are doing with our work, outside our work. I don't know if you get me. Like, you have the content, you have the data, you move with it. Not everyone is holding their camera here. But if you're to think about what you can use it to maybe influence change in society, how can you get together and bring up a project where all of you have content and you can build something in society, like a change? Again, because I have gotten in touch with Tubayo before. The person I started my foundation with actually is a close associate with Tubayo. It's called David Tabaza. So we got together because of the connections we have with people, and we are working with street children. And because of the attention we had from those, we got to invite people. We actually got arrested because we were actually speaking about things that actually some people in government were benefiting from. The main question is how we use our content to create change. Thank you.
I think I'll go first, and I'll keep mine simple. I think the more you do something, the more they see your consistency, your persistency, it will bring attention to them. So just don't stop. Just keep doing it. If you want to make awareness of the potholes, just keep posting it, and then one day it will like happen. But also I want to thank you for the organization you do. That's a great work to help the street kids. And I know we did not make the podcast, but I want to assure you we can reschedule that so we can make the podcast happen again. So I don't know if any of my speakers wanted to take on his answer.
You think maybe you've covered it?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I want to give it a go.
Okay.
I might butcher it, but I'll give it a go. So, how do you make change happen? Yeah. Before potholes were an issue, every one of you got so tired of them that they started taking pictures and uploading them. And the government doesn't feel nice when the image of Kampala is potholes. Like when you Google Kampala, the first thing you see is potholes. So they decided to do something about it. It's not, they didn't do the best work, but they did something about it. So just keep doing the work. Someone in the right place will see the work and they will do something about it. Yeah. But then again, don't forget, stay in the right parameters with the law. If you watch my video, sometimes I'll upload a video of potholes, and then other days I'll just show off the beautiful city. Yeah, I will not tag the government or tag KCCA because that might get me into legal issues. Just put the work out there, someone will see them. I uploaded a video about the guys that identify in multiple binaries, and I got feedback that this will get you in trouble with potential clients and whatever. So I took it down. Yeah, why? Because it rubbed some people the wrong way. As much as I felt like it was kawa, but some people felt a different way. So I guess what I'm trying to say is put the work out there. Someone will see it, but then also just make sure there is a balance between what you're trying to say that might get you in trouble and what is right. So don't go people power up and then go out and do the most. Just do enough, yeah, to not get yourself in trouble.
So just to, I think, add on to what Neka is trying to say with that comment, according to this gentleman's question, is that exercise caution in whatever you do. Because at the end of the day, this is a creative space, and in the creative world, we have given ourselves the freedom to say, we have actually completely abused freedom of speech. However, you're still not above the law. So all the kind of content you try to do, just make sure that it's within the accepted, whatever it is that you personally feel about it. If you're doing work, do work. And if you have a way to do your personal things that doesn't affect that, also do that. You get me? But exercise caution, who you talk to, what you talk about, what you upload, it still affects everybody in the long run. We have 2 more last questions. Let's keep them brief because we have 2 performances and then we'll wrap up the show. Good evening.
Good evening.
Hey guys, good evening. And the energy. We had Sam's, we had Koteri food. What one? Good evening. Exactly.
So I would like to say thank you on behalf of Koteri. We are really grateful for your presence. And to our dear podcasters, we would like to ask a question. When do you think you would grace us with your presence for us to actually record a few of your podcasts or all your podcasts in our podcast room? Thank you.
Hey.
Hey, they have said they have a venue. And we have so many. Please go ahead and take the picture. Did you need a microphone? Okay. They have said they have a venue. And I know we have so many podcasters in our midst today. Chatroom 256, what's up? Pardon? The chatroom 256, what's good? Which one is who?
Let both of them.
Hey, I don't understand. Anyway, so they're wondering, when are you able to just come and say, here we are, host us, okay? Now you know who to speak to, right? Is that what you wanted? Okay. Our last question for the evening.
Greetings everybody, how are you doing? First of all, I want to appreciate when the platform, people come here and share their perspectives. But I would love to ask a general question. You're talking about issues people face in Uganda. More about in podcasting, issues about facing. I didn't hear anybody talking about the internet. I don't know what it is. I'm just trying to take out and see. Then next is content creation all about entertainment, or people just talk about things they be freely willing to be like sharing with other people. So it's a general question. I just wanted to know.
Thank you. What do you got that?
I think I did.
Everything?
Most of it.
What did he say?
Internet.
Uh-huh.
And then it's content creation about entertainment or about things that people face or go through.
Uh-huh. There's
Okay.
one more that he said that I think you didn't hear. He said, is this content creation only about entertainment, or can people just speak about what they feel like speaking about?
I think they can, and I think we said content creation could be anything, and that's the whole point of why I brought the guest speakers. Like the content Nyaika does is not the same content Prim does. It's not the same content Angel does. It's not the same content that. So it could be entertainment. So I think Nyaika's content could fall under entertainment because he covers more concerts and stuff. So it could be entertainment. My content could be through things people face, because when I host people on my podcast, they share about their stories and they could share about their journey, struggles. We've done podcasts about mental health. I think that's what problems that people face. So my answer to that would be like, content creation could be anything. It could be entertainment. It could be about what people face. I don't know if any of my guests speak. Yeah.
Yeah, I really want to speak on the point of internet, which goes back to environment. The internet in Uganda is very expensive compared to outside. Also, and it's one of the challenges we face at the Motive podcast, the Maker's Mindset, is we represent a very small fraction of the demographic, yeah? And it's not going to make sense economically, socially, or politically until we're able to reach that woman down there who's just trying to get a hang of mobile money. So his question is very important. One of the challenges we face in content creation is access. yeah, there are those tweets who you're 50,000 likes, but we have 42 million people that we can contact, but poor service provision from telecom companies, and then it's very expensive. And then what he said about entertainment goes back. I really want to emphasize how saturated this industry is. There's a lot more to content creation. There's an entire value chain outside what we see on stage, beyond what we see on our screens. There's so much, especially content writing, that is so untapped, like the virgin of the virgins in this industry. And also in terms of, I was confused about the previous question that the guy who helps street kids asked, but I think he was asking about, what are we using our art for? And that's also a very important question. As much as the market can sort of coerce you to go into a certain corner of events and XYZ, there's also more value that you can add by telling other stories, right? And value that you can add, but also value that you can get. I believe value speaks in the language of money. So yeah, most definitely, if art is a service to society, to comfort the disturbed and to disturb the comfortable. I know it sounds so textbook, but yeah, just for anyone asking, like, do you have to do events like Edwin, or do you have to do lifestyle like Prim, or I don't know, movement building like Angel? There's a lot more. There's product design, there's concept, coming up with concepts, people who are paid, creatives who are paid to think, right? And you have brilliant ideas, you can pen them down and sell those ideas. That's content creation. So just look into the value chain, because there's so much that we are yet to discover in Uganda.
Thank you so much, Angel. Do you feel that the question has been answered? Yeah? Everybody feels that they've been answered? All right. Who said no?
Right here.
Okay, put your hand up. Okay. I was coming to fight. Sorry, I didn't see you. Sorry. You have a question? Okay. This is our last one. Also, ladies and gentlemen, the chat room, 256.
First and foremost, thank you so much, the Ugandan Boy Talk Show, for this opportunity. Well, this is a request, since most of us are content creators. Yeah. I've faced the challenge personally. I think I work in violence. Sorry, but that's me. I've had like 3 of my pages done down just because I talk about, they claim, sensitive stuff. For example, segregation, okay, I don't know politics, but sensitive topics. So it's kind of like a request. I don't know how we can do it, but everything is possible. I think we can come together and find a way of letting our country let us talk about things that people really feel should be talked about. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think I second that. And I mean, if you do it the right way and like present it the right way, I think they'll be able to listen to.
I know that this is different, but one way that I've done that for me is use humor. I know that not everyone is going to cover it up as comedy word, but I'll use humor to talk about things that are very sensitive, things that need to be done, and you'll find that the person who is taking offense, the person who's going to come at you, will first laugh and then be like, "But let us be serious. This is a real issue. You understand?" Yeah, I know that I'm not going to ask you to do that because we don't all deliver things the same way. And I do understand your pain because, well, you're dealing with the same country that we live in, that rather than someone take the criticism of your people are giving you feedback, you'd rather silence them, like, keep quiet, don't talk about this is the problem, keep quiet. But one of the ways that I've found that I've gone around sensitive things is cover them up, like talk about them with humor. Yeah. At the end of the day, the message will be out there.
All right. Woo! All right, guys, you have been such a wonderful audience. Round of applause for you guys. Thank you so much for keeping time, being engaging, having a good time, supporting everybody here. It's amazing. Now, right before I ask the guest speakers to take their seats and be comfortable again, Tulayo has gift hampers that they would like to give to the speakers. But I also want you guys to have a photo moment here. and down there. So we get the hampers, we do the photos.
What
and
are
we put
your
them
final
in
remarks?
photos. As we get ready for our 2 last performances for the evening.
Yeah.
However, you don't have to go. This is just the beginning. This is our pre-game. We have drinks, we have platters, okay? And we have good energy. Plus, a DJ. So stick around.
Yeah, I thought that you was a shy girl. Until I made you my girl. I ain't pushing you to be a boy.
But then I just for you guys to switch back the camera.
Huh?
Who might do this?
No, so I don't find the remarks.
Final remarks.
I think so.
Guys, please stand up. Please stand up.
Thank Yeah.
Somebody that come back.
I just wanna be the reason why they call you mama. There no drama, why you make me stammer? Short conversation, no long drama. Excuse me sexy mama, was a plan for this summer. Because Kampala, girl up Panama. When it seems so hard, I'm make me scammer. Still keep it bad like Tony Montana. There's every time when you guys slowly. Man, me up and when you work for me. Wait for you to bring your body, yeah. Bring your body, yeah. Just bring your body, yeah. We wanna rock your body, yeah. Bring your body, yeah. Bring your body, yeah. Just bring your body, yeah. We wanna rock your body, yeah.
I love this boy. Let's go. Give me love, you don't put on me. You see about the man, I never understand. I must confess, your body very offensive. It is at my defense.
Well done.
Yeah, down.
Jump the points.
Yeah. How do we feel, ladies and gentlemen? How do we feel tonight? I want to hear someone say, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Louder, yeah. All right. Banavana bazibu nnyo. Ole mwa.